Welcome to Toffee TV. This is the debate. This is where me and Baz sit down, talk about something, and then for about 5 minutes of the video, debate something.
Yeah.
But you know, it sets a nice platform for the video. We've been discussing managers at Everton Football Club and their tenures and the best signings. Maybe we should have done the worst signings for this one. But we can discuss some of the worst signings, but we'll discuss the best signing. It's Ronald Koeman time.
But okay.
But the man who came in and had the
most
biggest
games of golf ever,
the biggest war chest any Everton manager had ever been given, and
spunked it up the wall.
He basically made a bit of a mess of it. Him and Steve Walsh. Let's not forget. He come in 2 summers ago, which I still find like mad that it was only 2 summers ago that Ronald Koeman took over from Roberto Martinez.
Bobby, yeah.
It seems so much longer, but it was actually well,
this season's felt about 7 years.
It has. This season has. A mirror was broken last summer at some point. But yeah, he came in to much fanfare, to much expectation, to to a lot of hope, a new future for Everton Football Club.
Dawn. He did.
Sheep from Ellsbury Port, Dawn.
He did. He come in a blaze of glory, didn't he? You know, with Roberto Martinez's tenure came to the end, and there was a few names bandied around. We wanted Emery, didn't we? I think, you know, I actually wanted Frank de Boer, I think, ahead of Ronald Koeman, so that shows what I know. You know, obviously Tuchel will always be on my he's agreed to go to PSC, hasn't he? It's been in the pipeline.
Been announced, yeah, it's been
for
announced.
a while. Yeah, so Koeman come in, we got him out of Southampton. He'd done reasonably well at Southampton, and I suppose having that such a high profile name was exciting, getting him in. I wasn't fully convinced by him at Southampton because of the 2 big runs he'd gone on without winning a game. It was like 11 and 10 games, I think, in successive seasons, which was mad, because you'd always think good managers shouldn't go on those long runs. But ultimately he'd done well in the second half of both seasons, and he'd had a 7th and a 6th, I think. So he come in with money and a bit of excitement, I think, because of who he was, and you thought if he could.
But also, sorry, just because of how we got him as well.
Yeah,
because we'd gone to another Premier League club and been told no, but still got him.
But we stayed with it. Yeah, we took him out and bought him out of his contract, paid the compensation, got him in, and it was. I mean, there should have been some. There should have probably been some.
His first interview
done at his villa in Spain. Not like he couldn't be asked coming back to do it all. No, but we got him in, and it was, you know, like you said, it was the start of a new dawn. He was Mashiri's first appointment since, you know, buying into the club, and everything looked clinical. Want this fella, I've got him. Wanted Monchi at the time. He wanted to come. Seville wouldn't let him go. Obviously now we know he approached Marcel Brands at that same time, but he didn't want to leave PSV then, so we ended up then going and getting Steve Walsh out of Leicester, who just won the league, and you were thinking, I know, this is, you know, this is moving in the right direction. But yeah, unfortunately the only real thing that improved during Ronald's time here was his handicap on the golf course.
I'm glad you said it. On the golf course. Yeah, it moved. I suppose we were all so excited whether could we never thought should we, you know, like Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park. We never really stopped to think about the whole picture, and for some things anyway, the way it was put together. Koeman, it was like mid-June when he came in. Walsh didn't come in till
early August.
Was it early August?
Late July.
Yeah. So, and we didn't buy anyone really, did we? Till we bought
Stecklenberg straight away, didn't he?
And then Garner.
And
then
Did we get Garner?
Garner's our first outfield.
Yeah, he was the first outfield signing.
And then I think we didn't really do anything for a while, and other decisions were being made, and we never. It felt like everything stopped while everyone was being assessed. I remember at the time we were saying, you know, everyone's getting a chance to, you know, in pre-season to be seen and to be looked at, and it was coming off the back of the Euros as well, wasn't it? So I think everyone was coming back. Some of the players who'd been had come back late as well, so we were getting a chance to assess players, and I suppose we were all quite comfortable with that. We were all expecting this sort of high tempo pressing game. We'd seen Gerard Deulofeu playing in the pre-season as a striker, and he was told, like, you're my second striker after Romelu Lukaku. And the first game we come out and against Spurs, and we had no Lukaku, and up front it was the effort, wasn't it? I remember as well, he said, we're going to be great for 70 minutes and then there's going to be a drop off, because that's where we are, because it's like we're getting all these players fit, and he kept on having little slide digs at Martinez and how fit the players were, and all those things were encouraging, because you felt like, well, he knows this squad, he knows what he wants to do with them. He's not bullshitting us either as fans and saying, oh, it's going to be, he said, we're 70% there and it's going to grow and get better and better. You know, we drew with Spurs, we got through the game, and you know, the week after we went to West Brom and won, and it was a real encouraging start, the way we started that season.
Beat Stoke, didn't we? Beat them 1-0.
Beat Middlesbrough.
Beat Sunderland.
It was a really encouraging start. It was only till we got to that League Cup game against Norwich where he moved players around that the wheels started to fall off, and obviously we went on one of those long runs without a win. Picked it up around Christmas time, and then had a really good run second half, certainly at home, very much like this season, but the aways were still crap, and there was very much a Jekyll and Hyde team, wasn't it? But we felt like it was going in the right direction, just because we knew, oh, we'll probably spend a couple of quid the following summer, which we did, of course, and didn't quite work.
I think, you know, they had the Garner signing, and then obviously Walsh was in when he signed Garner, wasn't he? But then we got Ashley Williams in, and we were like, well, that's the centre back we've needed, an organiser.
Let me just go through the players. Now, we lost, I think this is sometimes forgotten, that summer we lost Pienaar, Hibbert and Osman, all in one fell swoop, and whatever you think about those players, they were a real stability, especially Osman and Hibbert, in terms of like the team and the squad. You were losing something I'd been part of the club for like 10-15 years, and although footballing wise they were past it, and Hibbert hadn't played for a couple of years, Pienaar had been injured, in hindsight there was something was important there about losing those players. I don't know if their characters within the club were ever replaced. Or certainly it eroded something that had been there previously, which we've seen this season with Jags, Coleman and Baines being in the team. That those characters, or effectively, whether you liked them or didn't, they haven't been replaced in terms of characters around the squad, leadership around the squad, and I think losing those three players was really important, which isn't really touched on. We brought Stecklenberg in on the 1st of July. The 2nd of August it was when we got Guy, so there was a big gap. You know, the whole of July without bringing a player in. John Stones left, Ashley Williams come in, Yannick Bolasie came in, Dominic Calvert-Lewin come in, and a Valencia, and that was a summer. I mean, there's not much meat on the bone there, is there? Really?
We tried to get Sissoko, didn't we?
Yeah.
We tried to get Gabbiadini.
Yeah.
And we wanted Kone as well. They were the three we tried to get coming up to the close of the window, which would have given us a spine, I suppose. Wouldn't have been a very good one, but it'd have been another three players that he wanted.
We'd also lost Tim Howard as well, which again I'm not going back to as a player. He was past it as well,
but a character.
But as a character, a leader in the squad, that was another leader we'd lost in the squad. I think, you know, that again, that's got to be. And as you say, we lost John Stones, so Ashley Williams, Yannick Bolasie.
I think what he done, he did talk about the 70%, and it did drop Spurs. We were exceptional for 70 minutes, and then we did look like we were out on our feet, and they took over. Won at West Brom. You know, we had a decent start. He made changes in the League Cup. We went on a bad run, and he was rotating the players at that time. Your famous circle of shite.
Oh yeah.
And there was nothing there. There was no pattern of play there. It was just a bit of a mess, really. I think we beat West Ham. Was the only win we had in 10.
Yeah.
2-0. 2-0 on the Sunday, yeah. And that was really it. Everything else was, you know, we lost early at Southampton, we lost at Watford, was terrible. And then we had that bounce, then we beat Arsenal, played alright in the derby, beaten late, then we won at Leicester, and then we got on that run. Yeah. Brought Schneidlin and Luckman in the January.
Let Gibson and Oviedo go.
There you went, so we get in a good run. And I suppose we did, we got to the end of the season. You know, which is...
Cleverly went on loan as well.
Cleverly went out on loan, and Delafeu got shipped out to Milan. Yeah. Despite being told he was a striker and then used on the wing and then not really used. So there was a lot of changes. He got rid of, but you felt as though he'd got players out who weren't buying into what he wanted. So we finished the second half of the season all right, and we got to that summer and the big signings coming in. But there was a big issue with that, and obviously there was the Lukaku thing. He was supposed to sign a new deal in February, and he pulled the plug at the last second. Yeah. Barkley was rumbling on. So from that moment when, not so much Ross Barkley, that's different, but from the Romelu Lukaku decision, yeah, Everton should have had a centre forward ready to go in May, June. Should have been done. I know he wanted Giroud, but he should have been buying two, because he'd written the ass off. Nias was playing for Marco Silva at Hull at this stage. He was, yeah. So he'd written the ass off. Valencia was going anyway, we knew that. He wasn't getting kept. So we had Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was in and out at that time, but as a baby. And other than Rom, we didn't have anything. Kone, whose knees were gone, absolutely shot. So there was nothing. So from that moment, they should have identified a centre forward, two centre forwards. It should have been Dembele up at Celtic, maybe someone like that who could run, and Giroud, because he wanted Giroud, and they would have come in, give each other a bit of competition, would have given him the option. He didn't. He put all his eggs in the Giroud basket in terms of the centre forward. Basket to put all your eggs in. Oh, you don't put that in that basket. Ironically, most of his signings, bar Cuco Martina, I think were good signings. And obviously I don't know about Onyekuru. Yeah. No clue about Onyekuru.
But he was getting ball for the future, wasn't he?
Looks bright. So the signings this summer I'm talking about, so last summer, 17-18, we were quite happy with.
Well, Pickford, Klassen, Ramirez for £5 million, Michael Keane, who looked very promising last season, Wayne Rooney, of course, Cuca Martina.
Yeah, I mean he was the one that was.
Gylfi Sigurdsson, obviously, and then and Vlasic late. I mean they're all decent players, but it's about how they were all simulated into the team. It was all done wrong. And what was mad about last summer is, you know, Jordan Pickford 15th of June, Davy Klassen 15th of June, Sandro 3rd of July, Michael Keane 3rd of July, Wayne Rooney 9th of July. So there's the majority of your players bought already
into pre-season.
And then Gylfi and Vlasic were late, and the likes of Barry went out, and the likes of McGeady, and obviously Lukaku went on the 10th of July, which is still pretty early. Delafeu had already basically gone to Barcelona, so most of them had already gone. Yet it was that gap between selling Rom on the 10th. And the thing was, I remember people saying, oh, Wayne's the replacement for Lukaku, and we were like, he's not the replacement. He can't be the replacement. This is a centre forward who hasn't hit his peak yet, and there's a 31, 32 year old number 10 attacking midfielder, centre midfielder coming into the squad. This can't be it. And it was that gap where it was like at first it was alright because there was the Giroud excitement was there. We knew we were going after him. We thought we were going to get him because we thought fucking hell we'll get anyone we want. Every day we were coming in here and the lads would joke who we signed today and we go, oh, we signed this kid from Belgium or whatever. Every day brought something because of, you know, not just signing them, but we also signed like, where are they? Boris Mathers, Josh Bowler, Lewis Gibson. You know, we're buying these young players as well. So every day,
the other kid, Marker, thingy.
Yeah, so every day,
Nathan Markello.
Yeah, every day it felt like we were buying a player, but then that gap come, and it was like we need a centre forward, but we also needed a left back that we weren't trying to buy, and we were like, this is all right.
And he said as well.
Yeah. But he kept on saying a left-sided centre back centre, because when Funes Mori got injured, that accelerated it, and a centre forward, and he kept on saying it. And because we'd gone after so many players or something and got them, you had confidence in we were going to get them. And even up to that last day, I thought we were going to sign players, and I think he probably thought he was, you know, he probably thought that. But like we said at the time, and I've done like to January and about this summer, you've got to have a cut-off point where your number one target has to be dismissed and you've got to go after your number 2 target or your number 3 target, and you've got to say no, enough's enough. But like you said, you go after 2, so if you can't get number 1, you go and get number 2 and say, well, at least I've got number 2, but I still want number 1. But we didn't do that, and all the good stuff we tried to do fell flat because the jigsaw wasn't complete. We had to force other players into a system because we didn't have a centre forward. So suddenly there was a reliance on having a Davy Klaassen, a Wayne Rooney and a Gylfi Sigurdsson in the first few weeks playing. You know, it just got so silly and lopsided, and not buying a centre forward that you could sort of hang your hat on. 15 goals a season centre forward had to be bought. If it wasn't the finished product, well, so be it, but we had to have something that you could use as your focal point.
Definitely, like I said, you know, Dembele was, I mean, that was, you know, there was all kinds of centre forwards available in Europe who we could have probably got. If we'd have gone early, we could have got them. Do you know what I mean? And we ended up just waiting, and you're like, you know, Bakambu, Villarreal, we could have got him. You know, he was very strong, quick, and you're thinking, you know, why aren't we doing that? We've got the money. Why aren't we doing it? You know, and we were asking about with Sigurdsson, it was creeping up. You know, it was 25 million, and I was like, about right. Then it was 30, 35, and I'm going, that's a bit much. You know, 40, and you're like, this is nothing, sure. And then 45, and you're like, what's happened there? So the money was available quite readily, but the centre forward was just left, and it's like, if you come out and say, I want this and I want that, you have to get them. Or you front it up and you go, I've told the board what I want, and it's their responsibility to bring it now, because this is what we need. Kept talking about Lukaku, and it just left it, and you're like, so all of that optimism we got, it was okay at first. We you know, said about the Roos and Berwick game, went to that full of confidence and hope, and was watching it going, this is terrible, but it's early, so things will click. But really, you're thinking, this doesn't look good, because you see other teams looking great in pre-season. We didn't, but we beat Stoke. You know, we negotiated our way through the Europa League. We went to City and drew. You know, and then we've got the windows coming up, and you're thinking, the centre forward now will just be the icing on the cake. We'll definitely get one because he keeps talking about it, and then nothing. You know, we'd try and get Babacar, I think, or Boubacar, or whatever.
Steve Walsh is in Italy, and
but that happened all early, and you're coming back, this player, and you're like, well.
But the other thing about it was, even with the centre forward, this is what made me laugh. We had to utilise Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and it's again, the Man City game, it was phenomenal what he played in that game. But at least, what I would say is that even him as a centre forward, even if it was a dummy centre forward, the rest of the team had no shape to it at all. No. It was all over the place, and it was just very, very strange. You know, of course we had no Seamus Coleman and we had no Balassi because of the injuries and Funes Mori, but there was no it's like he'd been given all these players and just didn't know what to do with them. And because he didn't know what to do with them, it was almost like, well, I'll keep swapping and changing. And it just, you know, we didn't know the temperament of Keane when we bought him. I don't think any of us realised how. I'm not going to use the word bad, but just his confidence just seems to go up and down during games. Never mind weeks or season, just in the game itself. So he needed a steady hand next to him. And Ashley Williams has proved over the season, certainly this season, that he is no kind of leader.
No. That
is going to look after other people first. Say what you want about Jags as a captain or whatever he says after games, but he seems like the kind of fella that will put the fella next to him before him. You know, if I wanted someone as my bodyguard, throwing his body in front of me, Jags would be the man. And he's done that with Keane more recently. But I think that uncertainty and Keane trying to find his role in it, not his role, but his feet in this team, having people like Kuka Martina next to him and John Joe on the other side, you know, it's really harmed him. And you think about times when we played with Kuka Martina playing left back, Williams, Keane and John Joe Kenny. I mean, I'm not slating John Joe Kenny, I'm just saying he's a kid. He's a kid. And having that as a 4, fucking hell. No wonder we shipped goals.
Well, it was just, we were just all over the place. I think the thing was, and we said it, and when I look back, we were saying it, the first season under Koeman, like the only full season he had before Christmas, after the Watford game and just before that, where's this going? Because he's a few months in, spent some money, where's it actually all going? Because it wasn't going anywhere, it was just weird. And then we stumbled on, not stumbled, but we got a way of playing, and Tom Davis coming to the side and Rom was scoring goals and we were whacking everyone at home. So I don't want to say papered over the cracks, because that isn't the right thing. But
good footballers will paper over all cracks.
But we were just good. We were good for a few months. We were very good at home, and we were decent. We were okay away. We couldn't win away, but we were all right away. We only lost, I think, 2 games or something on it. We were on a big run. But it's like he's just got a collection of players. That were good players.
There's no ethos,
but nothing, no like way of, and it showed in the team. When that team went out, we said this many a time, the likes of Davy Klassen starting, you know, and obviously struggling. He should have just been introduced. He come on against West Ham and was all right.
Sigurdsson first,
same.
when he came on against Man City, and he had no pre-season, and he was like we had 10 men. He went on the left and they just stepped out of playing on the right and battered us down the right. And it was decisions like that you were just like, what? Why have you made that decision? It doesn't help the team.
But that was the problem for me. It was a collection of good footballers.
The signs were scattered, weren't they? There was no shape,
no thought.
We were sold this idea that it was all going to be pressing football. He didn't buy, apart from Garner, he didn't buy one pressing player.
Not one in 2 summers.
And I know he said himself he was sort of Lukaku was almost like this thing that you couldn't ignore, but he didn't suit us there in the style of play. Do you know what I mean? He scored goals, but he didn't suit like a pressing side. Like, do you know what I mean? He didn't shoot anything, so it was all about building the team around Lukaku. Well, that's fine. But then soon as you do that, but soon as the things are different, you've got to change, and he didn't change. He just, again, it was about. I sat here last summer, and every time we bought a player, I didn't once think foolishly, how is all this going to work? Because that's not my job.
No.
You know, you have people at Everton Football Club, you have a manager, you have a director of football, you have people who, press the check, the button in the bank account, who goes, "You sure about this?" Yeah. You have the men who go and see the chairman or Machine and explain, why do you want 45 million for Sigurdsson? Right, this is why. This is how we play. Blah, blah. You imagine when Liverpool, Klopp went to Everton and they went, I want 39 million for Salah. I mean, don't forget, remember Salah last year, they'd offer this much, they'd offer that much.
Yeah.
And it was all like, oh, okay, and then they were like, no, they were getting him. They were determined to get him. They were going to. He wanted to go, and they were wearing Roma down because they knew they needed the money. We're going to get him. We'll get him. Don't worry, we'll get him. It's not going to be. We're going to pay whatever they want. We're going to get him. You know, could you imagine him walking in and going, right, this is how we play. We get him. He's as fast as lightning, and he'll score goals. Not as many as they thought he would be. Yeah. They're going to go, yeah, we'll sign that cheque. Not a problem. Because he would have explained exactly how he worked. How did we get to that position where it was like, this, he's going to do this, he's going to do this, he's going to... And it actually... If they did walk into a room and say how it was going to work, and yet get to like October time, you know, no wonder if they did do that, no wonder he got the sack. Because Michele would have just walked in and gone, you told me this was all going to happen, and I can't see a shred of evidence, and it's now November or whatever, late October. Where's the evidence? Where's the... Because we'd sit through those games going, like you've just said, where's this going? If you got beaten a game and you'd gone, I can see this is it's coming together. We're going to beat someone, and then we're going to go on a run, or we're going to batter these. At no point did you ever think, this is going somewhere. It never felt like it was going anywhere, because it never felt like he had the answer, because every week it was, not I'm persistent with this or that. It was change it, drop him, bring him in, play him. Every single week, you know, and he was just grasping, and that's why he got. For me, I think that's why he got the sack, because Michele just looked at him and you're out of control. You've got no idea how to sort this out. He looked a mess.
He did at the end.
You know, he looked a mess. He looked like he wasn't sleeping, and that to me was almost like you can't figure this out, and if you can't figure this out, you've got to go. And I know people nowadays are like, you sack people too quickly and blah blah blah. And I remember there was times under Moyes where things weren't going right, and the media were like, you know, might get the sack. But I think it was more down to things just weren't going his way, or people weren't listening, or whatever. But he still had control of where it was going. Whereas Koeman, I just don't think he had that. You know, you just looked at him in some of those games and you were like, why? You've got 3 number 10s and none of them are playing as a number 10, or, you know.
When you've got money as well, you've nowhere to hide. It's not like his hands are tied. Moyes, there was times when you were like, God, he might need to go here because this is terrible, or we haven't got a clue, or whatever. But he didn't have bags of money, so he had to make do a lot of times, and it was, you were kind of like, Koeman had no excuses. Come in, he had no... Roberto Martinez, whether you like him, dislike him, whatever, didn't have money. No money really. We got him as much money as we could. We got him Lukaku, and that was the main one.
For the second season, that was all the money. For the second
season, it was loan, that was the whole thing. And we boosted it in different sections, got a Etu on a free and people like that, loan that suit, them kind of things. But we didn't really have any money for him to be able to go, well, you know what? To play this the way I play, I want him and him. If Michele would have been after the end of his first season, and Martinez would have gone and need him and him to make this perfect, he'd have just gone, go ahead. And then it might have worked for Martinez, but didn't. So he couldn't sort it out himself, and that's why he had to go. And Koeman was the same. Koeman came in, like you said right at the start, with the biggest war chest any Everton manager's ever had. Big money. Wouldn't say the pick of anyone, but he could get a level of player. There was no question. Everton were interested, then players wanted to come for the money and everything else, and there was no clear plan, and that ultimately undid him. And
that is where you've got to separate him from the director of football, because that's not the director of football's responsibility. The director of football's responsibility is either to sign players, whether they be his players or whether they be the manager's players that he's asked them to go and sign. That's his job, and other things, at the club. His job is definitely not to create a plan of how a team is going to play.
Yeah, but that's what but we're saying that's what we want Marcel Brands to do.
No,
because what you have to
I agree.
What you have to do as a director of football, or or probably the best way to create continuity, then that's probably the best way of putting it, is to agree on a philosophy. Okay, so whether it be Everton are a passing side now, or Everton are a possession side, or Everton are a pressing side, Everton are going to press, so Marco Silva is a pressing manager. The director of football's job then is to go, right, him and like Silva, I go, want him on him, I'll sort that. But what the director of football then should be doing is identifying other managers around the world who play a similar way, so that if Marco Silva turns his hand, or sees someone else pulling the skirts up and he wants out again, you can let him go, and the whole process doesn't need rebuilding, because this fella comes in and goes, I play this way, that player is better than who you've got, and I want him, and that player is better.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
I said that wrong. Okay, it might be up to the manager to set out the plan. It's the manager's job to realise the plan. And
implement it properly.
And to implement it, so he's given a role to do. And I think, again, that wasn't... There was no... You couldn't tell me... No one can say to me that they sat at Goodison this season under Ronald Koeman and watched them and gone, I can see what he's trying to do here. Okay, we haven't got... Because let's be honest as well, he started the season without Romelu Lukaku, Seamus Coleman and Ross Barkley, three of the most important players that Everton have had in the last 3 or 4 years. But if you sat there and gone...
And James McCarthy, didn't really have him, McCarthy was an important...
But if you sat there, you would... And he lost Gareth Barry as well, so which had to be... his influence had to be replaced as well. But if you sat there, you wouldn't... There was at no time I was like, I can see what he's doing here. It's not happening because of A, B and C, but I can see what he's trying to do. It was just a mess, and that's why ultimately he lost his job, because there was no through line. There was no, this is where we're going. Even the thing with Rooney and Sigurdsson, like we sat here and we had slightly different opinions on it, but for me, Sigurdsson should have been... Everything should be built around Sigurdsson. Everything should have been built around Sigurdsson, and almost the way when Rooney moved back, that created the space for both of them to start doing what they were doing, to the point that when soft lads came up with they can't play in the same team, the stats completely backed the opposite up. Disproved it and said, well, actually, with Rooney playing a deeper role, and actually it's no coincidence as well that Rooney's form's gone off the boil since Sigurdsson's gone off the team, by the way, as well. That's a different video. But with him playing behind him and him, do you know what I mean? That those things should have been, but it wasn't. It was, well, Klassen and Rooney and they're going to play there, and Sigurdsson's going to play off the left. And it was like, no, hang on, if you're going to play 3 players, know what you're doing with them. Know what you're doing with them. You might start with Rooney, and you're going to start with Klassen on the bench and say, Davey, you're going to come on gradually and get used to the Premier League gradually, like he should have done. No, you're going to start yours all together, and then obviously Sigurdsson wasn't there for the first game of the season, and Klassen was, but it was just the roles. It was just weird.
But even in that first game, at times we were all the football for the goal.
The goal's great.
The second half we dominated. We should have.
When we went 2 up front with Rooney, Rooney was brilliant.
Rooney was brilliant, and we had the 2 up front because he had players to pass to. It wasn't an issue. It was great, but he didn't even stick to one thing. He couldn't. The biggest thing for me was he couldn't recognise. He could have looked at that, like you said, and gone to class and like, you're a little bit off it, so you're going to come in and you're going to dip in and dip out. Subs. Rooney, this is what I want you to do. If he'd have got the centre forward, say they got Giroud and played Rooney off him or whatever, or Klassen would have probably been, but you're just looking.
The main problem for him was actually when we got into the games every 3 days with the Europa League. That's when he couldn't cope. Like the first 2 games, the Stoke game and the Man City game, actually, he played different styles. Played completely different styles. He played with Rooney behind Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin legged them all night. He didn't start with Klassen, he started with Davey. So he did change it up but when he got into those games, it was a game every 3 days. He just didn't seem to be able to cope with how he was going to change the side a little bit rather than a lot, and there was no fluidity in the team, and that's where he come unstuck. But without it becoming a season review. But that, I just think he couldn't. But that again goes back to when you buy the players, having a clear idea how you want to use them. Even picking up like Vlasic, because he played all right against us. You know what I mean? It was like little things like that. And you're thinking, you just know what he is doing. So I don't think he did. So who for you was his best signing?
I'm gonna go Jordan Pickford. It was between two, and neither of them will be the one that you're gonna pick. So it was between Garner and Jordan Pickford. I'm gonna go. Garner's been good for Everton. There's no question about it. £7 million. You know, so much value in that. But Pickford has been, with the exception of the West Ham game and Liverpool away in the cup, he's been very good for us, and I think he looks like a top class goalkeeper. He still needs to improve, no question about it. Decision making sometimes is a little bit, but in general he's been fantastic. And I think the thing with Pickford is he could be our keeper for years. He could be the England goalkeeper quite comfortably.
He might be the England
keeper.
He
probably should be. He's better.
It's not going to be Joe Hart.
Nope. So for me, I think I would go Jordan Pickford, just shading from Garner, because Garner has been very good.
Garner's been great, and he was one of the, obviously he was the first outfield signing, and I think a lot of people would say Garner, and Garner might be the right answer, but mine isn't Garner, and mine's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And the reason I say Dominic Calvert-Lewin is because we picked him up for what, million quid, and he mightn't even have been his signing as such, but he was signed under him
and put in the team.
But this is why I think he's Koeman's best signing, because I think he developed the most under Ronald Koeman of any of his players, and that might be because he's a young lad. But when he signed him, it was just some kid from Sheffield United. We sign these kind of players all the time. We've signed players like this for years. Every team signs these players, and there's a 75% chance you'll never see them.
No.
But for £1 million or £2 million, you don't give them monkeys, because once they've been in a Premier League club, you put the Premier League tax on them and you sell them back to either a Championship team or whatever, and you get your money back and a little bit extra. And these players might come good. But I think Dom, from what we've seen from him in that first season, and how much trust Koeman would give him, you know, playing him on the left in games, and you were like, Dominic Calvert-Lewin playing on the left. And one of his first games he played on the left and got a tap in at Goodison. I remember he missed a great chance at Hull to win the game. Massive chance when he started coming in. But I think he scored the following game, actually. I think it might have been one of the following games afterwards.
The next time he played Hull. But
was it?
Yeah, when we beat them 4-0.
It wasn't long after though.
No, it was like it was that January turn when you'd always played the team.
So
Marco Silva's Hull.
Yeah.
We beat them 4-0.
But I think Dom, and what we've seen from this season, he's come on so much. And I know, listen, I'm not sitting here professing that he's like an amazing centre forward, but I do, for his age, I think one thing that he's got, and he wouldn't have got unless he played those games for Koeman early on, is a Premier League nous.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you think he's got it. I do. I think he's got a Premier League nous. I think he can handle himself in Premier League games. Yeah. Is he a good finisher? No, he is not. The Merseyside derby attests to that. Limassol at home attests to that. Crystal Palace away attests to that. But I think he's got Premier League nous now, and I think he knows. When he came on against Liverpool, he was brilliant. He was brilliant till he missed that chance. He came on and he played that left hand side, and suddenly that was one of the they got forced back, and that was one of the reasons we started getting up the pitch. If he'd scored that goal, he'd be a hero. He'd be a hero for life. Unfortunately, he missed it. But I remember when he came on against Arsenal, and we'd been absolutely dour, and suddenly he was the spark we needed. He held the ball up really well. He started running at them. He
scored a good header.
He scored a good header. Listen, he's raw, but for what he was when we signed him to what he is now, because Koeman trusted him and played him in so many games and had the trust of him, because he just knows how to win fouls, he knows how to run at people, some games he can be crap. I know that. I've got no problem. I know he can be crap in games, but I just think his level is elevated massively. That I would trust him in games now. When I see him come off the bench, I have no problem. And even if it's left hand side, I think he knows how to play it now. That he's got. It's like when I think Davis is the same, but I think he's just a little bit behind him. But Davis has also come to a Premier League club. He didn't. I think you look at some players like Vlasic, let's say, and you bring them on, and they still like, it's still almost that element of like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and it's just like, it's the Premier League, lad. You're not. You almost have to earn your right, and I think it takes a while to earn your right. And I think Dom has done it very, very quickly. So where he comes on and people go, yeah, he's been handy, this kid. He's a good player. He had a great summer last year. Obviously went to the England under-20, scored the winner in the final. I think that helped them as well. I just think all those things have made him now where you go, Dom's a good player. He's a good player in our squad. I think he got a 6-year contract, so they obviously believe in him. The others got 5, he got 6, so they obviously believe in him. You know, so for me, I in terms of developing a player, I think he was his best one.
Yeah, I think the only frustrating thing for me with Calvert-Lewin is his finishing. I think his finishing's woeful. I do.
At best.
For the chances he gets, he misses so many. But you're right, I have no issue when he's never one I see getting stripped to come on and go, why are you bringing him on? Never do it. I see him and go, come on, Dom, because he'll make a difference in games. That's a big thing. He's good in the air, works hard, he's disciplined.
When we brought him on against Stoke, and for Davies, and suddenly we had 2 up front. And suddenly because the irony is, under Sam, he actually shoots Allardyce's system more than Toshin does.
No, he does because he's mobile and he's quick. Toshin obviously is a much better finisher,
which means the cut to them.
Of course,
should have played more time.
If you look at the West Ham game, you see in the Aston Toshin. It's no secret that we had our most shots on target at the weekend when he played 2 strikers. I know in the end Theo went and played up front with Nias as well, and you know he had a goal disallowed, didn't he, and stuff. But that's what should have been used more. And it's not used enough in football. And I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin can play that. At Arsenal, he played up front with Tosin. He scored the header, you know, when he came on. So he's definitely one for the future. There's no question about it. He's a player now who can play in the team. And like you said, you know that. I think Koeman trusted him because he'd just do what he asked him to do, whether that be
for me
up and down, left back, left wing, whatever. He'd go and do it.
For me, is the performance of the season was his performance against Man City. He was honestly he was incredible that night. I've seen him. I know Rooney. I know a lot. People give it to Rooney for stats against West Ham. But I thought for an all-round display, his performance against Man City was just fantastic. I just think it was just so good.
There needs to be a level of consistency with him. Of course, that means putting the ball in the net because he's a centre forward. If he's going to play as a left-sided, like a winger type player, a wide player, fine. He'll get 6, 7, 8 goals a season. He'll run up and down. He's good in the air. And that might be fine. That might be a way that he's used in a 3.
I think if you are,
but he's not a traditional wide player.
I think the problem is, but what is a traditional wide player now?
You know what, mate? Mane wasn't a wide player for Liverpool, and they use him wide, and he's brilliant. Firmino was.
The thing about it is, for me, is that he's a kid. If he was playing 1 up front, you'd want more goals out of him. Maybe in a 2 with a finisher. He's mobile. He's the mobile player. He'll bring other players into play, and I think hopefully there's more to come from him.
I think he'll get better just with playing Premier League games and training every day. He will. He's like you've just said, the elevation of his career already. He's gone up a couple of levels. I think if you, I suppose you could play 3 centre forwards as an out now front 3, and he could go in there you could play him, Tosin and Walcott. You'd have pace on either side, and you'd have the goal scorer through the middle. And
I just think for me,
I think he's a better option than Mr. Balassi.
I just think for me, for all the players that he's bought, Pickford, I expected him to be consistent, and he has been really excellent. Garner is a better player than we thought because we didn't all see what he did at Villa. but I still don't think he's reached the heights of the first 6 months.
No.
Where he was absolutely incredible. Then he went to the African nations, and I think maybe there was a body swap, and he's been
all. I think Sneijderland just took his. Sneijderland's complicated it for Ghana.
And I think all players we've bought have either been below what we wanted from them, or have been what the level we expected of them. So
no,
there was signs from Sigurdsson, but he was just around what he was at, not quite at Swansea, but just around. But you want more for 45 million. So for me, he's the one who's gone up and beyond.
Well, if you could sell him for 20 million, no, Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, easily. It's mad.
And we bought him for $1 million. So that alone couldn't sell Sigurdsson for 50 million. You wouldn't get the money back on Sigurdsson at the moment. You wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because there's not many teams that would pay it. Pickford, you'd get more than what you pay. But if you're doing it like that, then Calvert-Lewin's, exponentially increased his transfer value unbelievably since he came. £1 million and has got 7, 8, 9 goals in the Premier League, but knows how to play everywhere now. Like you said,
was he still our second top goal scorer?
I think he had 7
in all competitions,
six assists or something. So he was involved in a lot of goals. So on that level, he has had a good season, and he's been a very good signing. And you hope that he gets that killer instinct.
Yeah.
In front of goal.
Oh, if he gets that, then you're talking about he could be one of the top strikers, because attributes wise he's got them. Not saying he's there, because there's bits of his game that his hold up play's not great, needs to improve it, but he's only 20 and he's wiry, he needs to maybe put a little bit on. But look at Harry Kane for Spurs. He was 20, he wasn't getting a game, he could be on loan and trying to learn his trade. He still didn't have big hopes for him, and then the next minute he's absolutely fantastic. So that's the challenge for Calvert-Lewin. Can you tighten your finishing up? And if you can, great, because it gets him. That's the one thing about his finishing. It's never like it's always like, I don't know. It always feels like he rushes into chances. Do you know what I mean?
I don't ever see him whacking the ball. You see him, if you look at every time he has a shot, it's with the inside of his foot. It's placed every time, which is great, because he's trying to steer it into the corner of the net. But I don't see him like putting his foot through it. Have you got that ability, or does he try to make too certain with his finishing? Remember him scoring like a jump volley for the 23s. That just was instinctively done, like it against Arsenal, I think, the start of last season or something. So he's just got to tighten that up, and working with Tosin, who's a very good finisher, and Rooney on the training ground. And the ass is just
tremendous finisher.
Always, but that's him, isn't it? Yeah. He comes to life in the box, doesn't he? And the ass, that's his strength. But yeah, that kind of thing. And if he does that and works at it, then everything else is in place. The important bits of the jigsaw are there. But obviously, as a centre forward, you've got to have goals, otherwise you're just Marcus Bent. Aren't you?
No one wants to be Marcus Bent.
Well, he's probably quite happy with his life.
He went to jail.
Yeah, he might have liked jail.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Maybe Daniel Lloyd.
He did have a dabble with Daniel Lloyd. and Gemma thingy.
Gemma Arthurson? No.
Yeah, Gemma Atkinson. Yeah, he's slotting there for years.
Well, fair play. Yeah. Prison seems alright then.
Marcus Bent, mate.
Take a little bit of it. Yeah. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Gemma Atkinson.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think was Ronald Koeman's best signing? It doesn't have to be Baz's pick, Jordan Pickford. It doesn't have to be my pick, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Let us know. Is it Ashley Williams? It's not Ashley Williams. It's never Ashley. That's never the question. It's never the answer. It's never the question, either.
It's never the question.
I mean, if the question was Ashley Williams, what would be the answer?
Please sell him back to Swansea.
There you go. Or just release him down a canal.
I was thinking, did he only get a 2-year deal? He didn't, did he? 3.
Do you know when you is it the Eskimos, the elders, put them on a bit of ice?
Fire?
No, that's the dead ones. That's Vikings.
Oh yeah. But the Eskimos are just, you put them on the ice and
Sean Bean every time he dies in something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Let us know your thoughts. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.